Hello everyone. This is not going to be an unboxing of the Tablo or a review, but we are going to talk a little bit about Tablo and some of the things I've liked and disliked about it. About 6 years ago, I cut the cord and started uh, going without cable, and principally I used Kodi to get a lot of the DVDs and videos, movies that I have in the collection. But I also wanted to have the ability to receive live TV and do a video recording for a DVR. And unfortunately, at that time, there was no packaged devices that would do that. So what I did, I resulted in buying a couple of these. These are silicon dust HD home run receivers. These happen to be a little older version, 2 tuners in each one of these. So I had a total of about four tuners to play with. And then I also needed something to actually do the recording from the HD home run. So I put together a Myth TV back end to do the recordings. And um, as a result, I had a sort of a video recorder for the last 6 years. Now, the problem with Myth TV and Kodi is that Kodi has a plugin that works with Myth TV, but the plugin is not really well updated. And whenever I was viewing more high resolution type HD programming at 1080p, usually sports events and the Olympics, I would get really a poor playback of those. They'd either stutter or simply blank out, or and it would always happen on a sports event like the Olympics. Well, with the 2018 Olympics, I started recording it on Myth TV, and what I would get is a complete blank out. When I tried to skip commercials, it would skip a little bit and then freeze. Sometimes it would freeze and skip all the way back to the beginning of the recording. So that was sort of the last straw. I decided I needed to find a better solution than my um, home-built Myth TV back-end front-end system. So I did some quick research and came up with the name of Tablo TV, which looked like a very good solution. It was a self-contained hardware specifically purposed to record high definition over-the-air television, and it could also be put on a local area network. And the Tablo TV people had lots of players that would run on multiple platforms, uh, actually natively with a smart TV, Samsung Smart TV, uh, uh, Android boxes, Android TV boxes, looked like Apple TV as well, and a host of uh, other platforms. They had applications that would run on them, even Windows 10, as a matter of fact. And so it looked like a very good solution, and I quickly ordered it and installed it. Okay, this is where I installed the Tableau box. As you can see, there's the HD home runs from Silicon Dust, and they were in the same location here. It happens to be in the bedroom, upstairs bedroom, simply because the antenna connection directly from the antenna comes in here, and so it was convenient just to have it up here. And since it's a network device, it can be located anywhere in your home, wherever it's convenient to connect up to an outside antenna. And the Tablo, of course, if you've done any research on it, this happens to be a 4-tuner Tablo. The 4-tuner Tablo does not include any mass storage, no hard disk inside of it, though they do have a new model that has 2 tuners and a small, I think it's maybe a 100 260 gigabyte hard drive internal to it. But I wanted to replace the 4-tuners of the Silicon Dust with a 4-tuner box, Tablo box. And so consequently, in order to store your TV programs, you're going to need to purchase a USB drive. This happens to be a Western Digital drive. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to have a separate power block for the hard drive. It will power from the USB port with no problem. So that was definitely a plus. Okay, after I got this all hooked up and I recorded a few programs, the Olympics and some other things, I went to play the Olympics and I noticed on my receiver that they were not playing in surround sound. They were they were playing basically just Dolby regular 2-channel digital audio. And so I puzzled around, see if there was settings that I had missed, both on my NVIDIA player and you know, on the TV and even in Tablo. Tablo has very minimal settings that you can do for the unit. So I did a little more research and actually found that Tablo, that's a known issue with Tablo for more than 2 years. The Tablo's been out for about 2 years, and it will not pass through 5.1 surround sound audio in any format, whether it's Dolby or any of the other DTS or anything like that. So that was absolutely a negative. I really had not known about that. Really, their advertising doesn't say anything about that limitation. So, you know, that's one downside to this unit. However, to install this unit took all of 30 minutes or less. It was incredibly easy to install compared to the days I spent getting the Myth TV backend working. So as far as that's concerned, if you can live without 5.1 Dolby audio, it definitely is an easy solution, and probably anybody could install this without having to be a computer geek. So as I mentioned earlier, the Tablo has all sorts of player apps that will run on multiple platforms, run on natively on a Samsung Smart TV. I think they also advertise that they have plugins for smart LG televisions. Apple TV, they have one. They have one in the Play Store for Google, so it runs on Android boxes. And also even the Windows 10 app that will run natively in Windows. However, they're not all the same. They have differences in their interfaces, enough to make that an important consideration when you decide what player you're going to use to access the Tablo device. And so I'm going to go through now some of the pluses and minuses for some of the different apps on the different platforms. Okay, if you look at the bottom, you'll see, let me move this a little bit so we get that all full screen. If you look at here, you have Tablo I have loaded in this smart TV. It's a Samsung 9000 series, and it's about a year old. So Tablo does have that in the App Store for the Samsung TV. However, the Samsung TV uses a proprietary operating system. It's not Android. And so the design of Tablo has a couple of different features compared to the ones that run under Windows and under Android. So let me open up Tablo here. Okay, this is the recordings page on Tablo, and let me move this over to movies. And movies, this means you see the electronic program guide in a format that only shows upcoming movies in the next 2 weeks. So let's open that up. Okay, and these are the movies that are playing on various local channels in the Washington, D.C. area. And if you look, we can open the side panel up. And if you look at filters, let me move this a little bit so you can see it. You notice that under filters, you have the choice of all or by channel. If we do the channel, then you're going to see a list of movies that happen to be on various channels. And as you can see, it doesn't work real great. Let me see if I can go to one that I know has some movies. Nope. Okay, so I mean that's a problem with the this particular version. It will not allow you to filter, even though it shows it can filter under channels. It won't filter under channels, and there's no other choices. It's either all or nothing, basically. Okay, so we're going to go now and take a look at this under a Android operating system, the same app. Okay, we're up upstairs in my office, and this is showing the launch screen of NVIDIA Shield, which is of course Android TV operating system. And what you see here is the Tablo app that is downloaded from the Android TV store. And if we load that up, it takes a couple seconds for the first load. Okay, so we have the, again, this is the recordings page, the pages of programs I've already recorded. And what we're going to do is go here, and we're going to go down to movies again, just like we did on the Samsung Smart TV. We're going to open up. And again, this is a list of all the movies that are going to be playing on all different channels in the Washington metro area. And if we go back here, if you notice, what you find is you have all, and you have channels, but you have two more. You have ratings and genre. Now these two are missing, and this one is not functional on the Android TV. So let's try out the one that didn't work on Android TV. And as you can see, this one does indeed work. So all we need is to go to a channel and click on it, and we see what movies are playing on that channel over the next 2 weeks. But the thing that I really like with this version of the Tablo app, the one that runs on the Android, is genres. Because you can go here and you can look for musicals, and you're going to get a list of all the musical movies that are playing. And I think that is absolutely makes the app that's running under Android superior to the Samsung TV app. Okay, there's one other thing I want to show you. Tablo also has a plugin that runs under Kodi natively, which makes it kind of easy to integrate it into a Kodi system. But I want to show you the limitations of that. Okay, we're going to go into the add-on browser, since I haven't actually installed it to have easy access to, let me see where it is here now, add-on browser, video add-ons, yes. Tablo, okay. And we're going to launch Tablo from this. Okay, so we have a Tablo here that shows recordings and guide. And if you notice, it doesn't have the movies capability here. Let me show you here. We can go into guide, and then we're going to go to movies. So we got a list of all the movies they're playing, just like we did on the Android version of it, but there's no filters. You can't filter it by genre, you can't filter it by channel. So consequently, that has a kind of a pretty serious limitation. Also has sports on here as well that you can access. Okay, so if you look at the options here, running Tablo's app natively under Android actually will have the best experience. Now, I don't have a Roku box or any of the other Chromecast or anything hooked up, but I'd certainly be interested in hearing about the interfaces on those boxes from anyone that's watching this video. Okay, this is the Tablo player from the Google Play Store, running under the NVIDIA Shield player. And I want to show you a couple features on the and how you do some of this through the app. I have Big Bang Theory selected. If I select that, it comes up with fan art, and it has a box art, and it also has a brief description of the Big Bang Theory. But if you look down here, the box that is selected is delete. So if you were to push it again, what you're going to have is delete one watched recording, delete all recordings. So we don't want to do that. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to push the down arrow twice to have the list of recordings come up. And that's a little bit of a negative. They should actually have the default when you go into that page to list the seasons that are available. And so if we do, let's just select this briefly. Let me see if I can bring that up. Are you sure? Oh, I don't want to delete it. Okay, so we're going to go down here. We're going to do, let's see. Okay, this is one of the programs that are recorded. We're going to hit play. Takes a little while to load. Okay, and it's now playing. If you hit the select button again, what you're going to get, you can see the button at the back. It's going to pause it. Okay. Now you can skip commercials with this, but the easiest way to skip commercials is to pause the program, and then as you advance this, if you notice, it has pictures that pop up, so you can advance based upon the little thumbnail you see until you see there's no commercials. And if you hold down the right arrow button, it's going to go through quickly, if you notice that. And also the same way back button is going to go through quickly. So that's the best way of skipping over commercials. But this only works after the recording is complete. For example, we can hit, this looks like where it's the lead-in commercial ends. So we can select that box and we can go ahead and it'll start playing, if you notice. Okay, and again, we can stop it. All right, now, unfortunately, if you bring up a recording while it is in the process of recording, you're not going to get that. You're going to get just a blank box instead of that little thumbnail. So it makes it a little more difficult to skip commercials on live recordings. Basically, it's very easy to do once the program has finished recording. Well, I've had the Tablo now for just slightly less than a week. So what's my impressions of it? Well, definitely it's worth buying. It's easy to install. However, the one downside is the fact that it doesn't record in 5.1 surround sound. That could be a showstopper for some people. And also, the apps, even though they run on multiple platforms, they don't have the same capability across all the platforms. The best one that I found is the one that runs under Android from the Google Play Store. I'm not an Apple user, so it's quite possible the Apple version works well as well. Would I buy this again? Absolutely, I would buy this again. And also, even though you have to pay for the guide, I think it's about $49 for a year subscription. It's well worth it. It really, they do a lot of work in making sure that the guides are up to date. And the artwork that downloads is absolutely worth it. They look like it's a better download than you will get from some of the more free sites for similar like Myth TV graphics. And actually on Myth TV, it's a lot of work to get it looking like they have their guides to do. So if you have any questions about this, make a comment below, or you can contact me through Twitter at PatPend, that's PATPEND, and I'll try and answer your questions about the Tablo. Thanks.